I think this is the first time in 4 episodes that we haven't at least gotten 3 rings out of Skype from you.
Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah. Okay,
Of course, those 4 episodes cover about 3 months, so it's kind of hard to remember.
Yeah, it happens. Okay, that's where I want to take this with. Okay, there we go. That's recording and audio's coming through there. I'm using
Okay, I've got Westwood going. It's 55 minutes, so when this is done, we gotta be done. But that gives me right up until when I need to log in. So we're to the big baddie who begins with a K.
Kill Jaden?
Yes.
Nice. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all.
No, we've got almost all of them. The first time I quote unquote killed Maiden, I was at the bottom of the elevator, which I didn't even know was an elevator. So thankfully the elevator came up, so it brought my body right back up to where I could get rezzed.
I have this sudden urge to point out to you that sometimes, just sometimes, sir, being on the elevator is the only way to win, even when you're losing.
Pretty much. The first time the elevator boss got me, there were like everybody on my side. I can't remember if it was Fell or Light, but everybody on my side was looking like they had a bomb, and my thing was so bad because of the camera, I thought I had one. And about 5 seconds into the fall, I realized I didn't. That fall takes like 10 seconds. It's like nuts. It's the worst fall of the game.
Oh, I don't know.
I jumped in. I had like 2.5 seconds. It blew up, killed me. My body went straight up, and another 10-second fall later, straight down. It's like, oh, come on, at least blow my corpse back onto the ledge.
Now, for anyone who's going to end up seeing the video version of this, is occasionally throughout this, I'm going to be flashing my social media and his Twitter, so you can bug the hell out of him on Twitter. Because, what the hell? Might as well. Besides me.
Hey, what? I actually didn't put those pictures up on Twitter. I need to do that. I got a couple of... I will say this. The base, the landing place of that it really looked like Ironforge, like Old Town. Ironforge. Or the well over in Storm Peaks.
Oh, you mean Ulduar and Uldum and Ironforge and
you go down.
Yeah, that's all part of Ulduar.
Storm Peaks somewhere.
Yeah, that is technically part of Ulduar.
But
don't argue with the lore whore.
I've been watching Nobel lately. You'd enjoy him.
Possibly. Anyways,
He's a big lore person, and then he and a lady called Fury are a Pandarian couple that run... They had, like... What was it? I think their first run had, like, 85 30-minute episodes. But it was the start of... It was level 1 to level 90. Or level 100. So they went all the way up through Warlords, and now they're starting Legion. I think they're only like 4 episodes in. It's actually kind of fun. It's about a half hour once a week.
I love how we're like starting this off talking about WoW because you've got a raid in less than an hour. I just have to appreciate the irony in that.
Keep in mind, this is a raid that if I say, whoops, I've got dysentery, you all go do it. They'll kill Jaden in 2 tries. If I show up there, we'll be lucky to kill him at all.
You know what? I'm not going to touch that because I've seen things like that happen to like professional streamers that, you know, are big, who start with a T and end with an owly. But no,
I didn't say it. I don't actually think I've ever watched him. The only time I've heard anything related to Towley is
lore.
No, it was one of the very early games for Mike B. Oh, it was shit. What is the
Guild Wars?
No, what is the DLC one?
The DLC one?
The DLC parody game.
I have no idea what the fuck you are actually talking about for once.
I'm going to find it on Steam and I'm going to send it. DLC Quest is DLC Quest. They had a top hat in there. That's one of the things. And Mike B said top hat equals Towley. That is literally the only time I've ever heard that name.
No,
I don't think I've ever even, aside from pictures or references, I don't think I've ever watched him.
Anyways.
So, no offense, Towley, but I don't know.
Yeah, as somebody who actually like subscribes, mainly try to win things, but because the guy actually entertains me, it's whatever with me. But no, going back before your divergent tangent about people you've never watched and whatnot, it's just kind of funny that we've got this time crunch. You want to talk about you're talking about the raid and whatnot, and then I'm sitting here in the back of my brain going, there is other things that Blizzard has going on right now. Like right now, the 7.3 Argus is on the PTR right now.
Actually, what Nobel posted today. Last week he posted the first run, and now he's got his second half-hour episode on the PTR. I haven't watched it yet, but it looks really cool. And yes, Illyria is back.
Yeah, but there's along with Turleon and quite a few others.
And I'm calling it now. Illyria is gonna turn traitor. It's
there's okay. So here's where I have to ask: how much of like the stuff have you dug into the 7.3 PTR stuff?
The only reason I'm thinking that is because apparently they data mined a fell version of her.
Okay, so
in my mind, it's like she's going to be kind of the sleeper agent.
No. They've done more digging and there's more stuff out. It is so much more interesting than that. However, what we might see, and this makes me kind of excited, is we might end up actually seeing Illyria team up with Sylvanas. Just because. I was
going to say, the only thing I hope is if we end up snuffing out Illyria, that Sylvanas or Finette, I think Vanessa's on the ship, that neither one of the Windrunners are forced to do it.
Well,
as much as people hate Sylvanas, I don't think anybody would. I don't think anybody would ever do that.
Well, there, like I said, we may see Illyria kind of side with Sylvanas because of things she's dabbling into. I'm playing around. Yes, you can go out there and search online and find out what I'm talking about. It's not that hard.
There's tons of places dedicated. In fact, WoWWiki usually is good about
WoWWiki is not posting that stuff because it's not set in stone yet.
No, they sometimes they'll have an off thing about where they kind of let people, add and subtract. It's not considered official. It's just kind of like
that's the forums. That is the forums. That is not like anything officially posted, but just kind of like dancing around some things that are coming up on the PTR. We get to see. I mean, we get to see some really awesome things, and it looks actually really good. My biggest complaint though is they are pulling another Bolvar. And you may be
the dude from Lich King.
Yeah, the guy who became the new Lich King. Yes.
Yeah, I've had interesting conversations with him.
Yeah. And I stand here and go, well, that seems to be Blizzard's raison d'etre, is these building up these great, beautiful, redemption arcs and then fucking over the person they're redeeming in the end.
Of course, they gotta keep things going somehow.
Yeah. So there is that. And then also with all that is Hearthstone has is showing off some new stuff for their upcoming next expansion that look, okay, I like Hearthstone to a certain degree, But they release card expansion packs so often and so regularly, and they change the rules so much, I can't fucking keep up. Not unless I'm willing to throw hundreds and hundreds, more money than I would actually throw at a real TCG game.
Honestly, I checked. I was going through and deleting some things like League of Legends because I don't even think I've booted that in 2 years. I deleted Smite Tactics because it was a neat idea, but it's a shit game. Well, there's no AI. It's strictly player versus player. It's like, so there's no way to learn.
No, there's a way to learn. You just actually have to fight people.
Yeah, but that gets... The problem is if you're a newcomer, that's depressing really quick. That's why I like... The one thing I like about Hearthstone is...
That's the thing about TCGs in general. And that is something I will say. In playing a TCG... You can't learn until you play against other people.
Yeah, but usually the later you get into it, the only thing you learn is that you got into it too late. That's the only saving grace about Hearthstone, is the matches are rather shit. But you can play against the computer, and now they do have those quests.
They do have quests, and they do have...
You have content that you don't need other people for. But the problem is, once you're done with the quest, well, then what?
Well, no, actually, and they have added in accessory quests and things like that, to more stuff so that people keep playing against this PvE content, is the best way to put it. Great example of One Night at Karazhan. You know, I got through the basic and the, normal and the hard. Now I'm trying to go through, like, the ultra hard level. And now it's also the fact that I've went through that stuff, but you can go back and you can win more cards doing class duels and whatnot, using specific classes and the specific decks they built, that the computer builds for these classes. So there is more stuff to do. But I'm saying for just what I'm saying is for like playing against other players and playing against just playing in general, with them introducing another fucking expansion pack again within a year, it makes it really hard to keep up. Ridiculously hard to keep up.
It's only a 5 gig program, so I'm probably going to uninstall it, because if I ever do want to play it again, it's not like it'll take long to download. But I just don't have any desire. Like, I uninstalled, we talked about this.
I don't have $50 to throw at every new fucking expansion.
Well, I uninstalled Starcraft, the original Starcraft, because I told you the graphics and the text were such shit. I was getting a headache. I couldn't even look at the screen for 5 minutes. It was so awful.
Oh, the free version of the original Starcraft they released, yeah.
Yeah, the graphics were so bad. Now, I might install, because I think they're coming out with a remastered.
Yes,
for like
the remastered is
$15.
The remaster is coming out here soon. Pre-order and you get some nifty skins for your command bases is till August 1st, I think. Yeah. So
yeah,
there is
and I might go ahead and get that, and if I get something, if I like it, I like it. If not, well, I'm out $10, and it was more or less just a pity purchase anyway, because I do like StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
I think StarCraft 2 is really good. It's just, my God, the interface and everything, it's like fucked up blue color on a black background, and all of it, none of it's bolded, so it's like very thin. You can't read any of that. And there's no way to change it. If there were ways to change it, I would be fine, but there isn't. So, yeah,
that's just how the game was.
Yeah, and I understand that, and that's why it's free, too, because people look at this on a modern monitor, it's like, dear God, what were these fucking cavemen thinking of?
Considering it came out in 1997, these fucking kids that bitch about it can go suck a dick and die. That's my. I grew up playing this game. People who bitch can fuck right off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, I was looking at
it's one of those things that does like get my goat and I didn't finish what I was trying to say about Hearthstone, but we've already moved merrily fucking along.
Just Hearthstone. I'm sorry.
But since we moved merrily fucking along, talking about Starcraft for some fucking reason, that's something that gets me is people will bitch about these old games. Oh, the graphics are so shitty, and it's like, were you actually alive when this game came out, or were you still floating around in your dad's scrotum?
I wasn't only alive, I had moved 6 times and was currently beginning to waste away in fucking nowhere.
Yeah, and you played the game way back then. Was it bad then?
I may have played StarCraft. I know I played the original. I know I played Warcraft 2.
Yeah. So the graphics really aren't, and you still play Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3.
Oh, I own both Warcraft 3 and the Frozen Throne.
Yeah, okay. And there is not much of a graphical difference between StarCraft and Warcraft 3.
The difference is lighter. StarCraft is so dark.
It's in space.
I know it is, but that's no excuse. If they would have put even just white color on that text, I would have been fine. But black and then dark blue, unbolded text, my eyesight is not good, and trying to stare at that gave me almost a migraine because it's too hard to read anything. The game itself was good. I'll grant you that. It was just as good as Star Trek 1. That isn't the point. The point is, when your eyes are crossed, trying to read little text and your nose is almost pressed up against it, kind of gets hard to deal with. With Warcraft, it was easier to read because the text was gold, unlike brown or something, so you didn't have to worry about being able to read it. Yes, I know it's in space, then why wasn't black and fucking white? Why was it like black and navy or whatever the hell it was? If it would have been black and white, I still would have gotten a headache, but at least then I wouldn't have had to have bitched that I couldn't read anything. It has nothing to do with the game or the age, it was just the color choice.
It's because space isn't black and white. It's space black and white. Space not black and white.
If you look straight up, yes. So if space is black and white, why were the colors black and fucking blue? I'm not in the Fight Club. Black and blue doesn't make any sense.
I love how we're discussing the color arrangement of a game that is 20 years old. What is wrong with us?
The thing is, you're teasing me about it, and the whole thinking that I'm judging the whole game on that. No, the game is great. It's just because my eyesight is so bad. Those color choices make it really hard on my eyes. That's the only reason I can't play the game. It has nothing to do with the quality. If they would have put in some way to change the text color, I would have been fine. But there wasn't anyway, so I kind of have to judge the game on that because it makes it unable for me to play because I can't focus.
So
game is fine. For a free game, it's a good game.
So pull an ancient monitor out, hook that up to your computer, play it on that monitor, and you should be good then.
No. The space for an old monitor.
That's true.
I don't even think I have a VGA hookup on this computer.
Almost guaranteed you have a VGA hookup. Almost guaranteed.
Not on my card. On the GPU I do, but I don't use that. I have a DVI and I have an HDMI.
Anyways, no one tell him about an HDMI to VGA converter. No one tell him it's too funny this way. I
don't convert things. All of my things have a VGA adapter. If I just get a cord, I can plug them in. I don't do adapters. But while we're on the topic of videos or of video, you saw what my video adapter is doing now.
Oh my god, yes, that's... And I literally the only thing I can literally say is just I think I may actually like put the pictures in the video for this because that's bad. That's legitimately terrible. I want to say like what Sam says. I want to sit there and say it's a graphics glitch or something. Check drivers, things like that. But I'm not even sure what the hell at this point because. Holy crap.
It's something that Second Life has done.
It's all the porn.
Because it's Second Life. That's an honest reason. No, for some reason, the only time I've ever seen this in any other game is when I go and do a world boss because that's a raid fight.
Yeah.
There are times I can, especially if I'm fucked and I'm melee with no ranged, if they tag it and I'm starting to run in, and the time it takes me to run there, I could honestly not hit it at all because I'm lagging so bad. Jeez. It literally stops. I think the last time, who was the last one I did? It was somebody it was Withered Jim. No, not well. Withered Jim is a fuck up on your video anyway. What was the one in the Broken Isles?
The one in Broken. Oh, the Fellmother.
Fellmother.
Yeah.
When I went there, I think and then there was the Nazarene, the Demon Lord or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think I saw it 5 to 10 seconds of animation in 30 seconds.
And
everything was just stopped. But that is literally the only time in any games that I've been playing lately. Heroes doesn't do it. I don't think Overwatch does it.
No.
Everything else, aside from a couple of raid bosses, everything runs fine. But Second Life, I think, crashed my video cards 7 times in a row.
Yeah, so
this morning I got what was supposedly the most up-to-date thing for my driver. And yeah, I am as good as I can get. So now we need to find a PSU I can use, and we need to find a video card. That's the next thing. What I'd like to do is take my computer in, or ask them, say, this is what I have, this is the hard drive, or this is the motherboard.
Yeah.
What type do I, because that last one, you and I loved the last one. I don't remember what it was, but we found every fucking spec on that thing. Even the power supply, we found everything on that. I can't find anything on this one. All I need to know is what kind of power supply I need. I knew that with the last one. But if I can figure out what kind of power supply I need, it's basic surgery. Unplug one, plug the new one in until you plug in the power supply. I could probably do that. And then just get whatever video card I want. And power supplies are not that expensive.
No, they aren't. Hell, I've got a 500 watt power supply I could send you if I had the money.
Except that's not all that much bigger than what I have now.
No, but it's enough to run a new GPU.
Yeah. I was thinking about getting like a 6 or 750 or something.
Yeah,
because
that's always
a
and
lot more future with those things, because one of the things I've been thinking of doing is getting like as good of a power supply as I could, not because the computer needs it right now, but it's going to need it eventually if I want to keep this computer up to date. Yeah. I'm going to need a lot of power, so get it now, and then as I need to upgrade the video cards or whatnot, I don't have to worry about power. Probably not for quite a few years anyway.
Generally, yeah.
An 800 or an 850 I found on Best Buy was $165. Even the big ones for power are not that expensive. I just need to figure out what connections I need. That's my big thing. I need to figure out what I have in there.
Yeah.
So. But
Well, and
yeah,
there is always that whole you would have me design you a computer and you just pay for it thing.
I've been thinking about that. I'm not quite sure because I was looking at that with they have something like that with Best Buy.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can say this is what you want, and they kind of narrow. It's not a build your own, but they give you an idea of what, I'm looking for this. Well, here's what we have in the store right now that matches this.
Yeah.
I'll put this in. I'll send this to you in a message because otherwise nobody will know what the hell we're talking about. Mm-hmm. This is the one that I found going through Best Buy.
Which way are you sending that message?
Discord Messenger.
Okay. There it is.
It'd be about $200. I'd have to put $200 down because my credit limit is 15, and that thing's almost 1,700. So I'd have to put $200 down.
Yeah.
But then I'd have 18 months to pay it off. And in that 18 months somewhere, I have to, if Social Security doesn't fuck me over, I will have my time over at Fun, which would pay it off. And it's a nice computer.
Yeah. That is actually a very solid computer. Because, a 240... The solid state drive's a little small, but that's what the 1 terabyte hard drive is for, actual data.
The hard drive would be where the terabyte hard drive would be where I would locate, if I could transfer, I'd put my music and my documents and my videos all on the terabyte. Because I've got that right now.
So hang on. Stop. Good boy.
Woof.
The solid state drive is for your OS and for like games that you are going to have installed that you need quick access to. The terabyte hard drive will be for your data and your documentation and other things.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is since it's for your OS, the music, video, documents, and downloads are going to be initially set. Those paths are going to be set to the C drive. Because that's part of the OS. So the only change I would make is try and find some way to point those to the terabyte drive. Because, then I'd put, Warcraft and Dragon Age Origins, because I've been losing a lot of my life to that lately. But, that's honestly what I want. I want a solid state drive for my games and whatnot. And like I said, after cleaning out my drive, I've got over 400 gigs on my terabyte hard drive. Of course, I've also got I've got 4 hard drives connected to it and one more sitting here on the floor. So I've got a lot of...
And for anyone listening in, that thumping noise you're hearing right now is the sound of my fingers just kind of rattling on my desk because he's missed it. It's okay though. It's okay. You can always go to Twitter and tweet at him about what I just said and what he's saying and why it's so funny.
How do I download a picture? I have to copy the link. I'm going to post the first picture from that just to show people what my video card's doing now. Oh God, it's
just gonna leave that up at this point. But anyways, so there's you did hear about, and this is something actually I've got a video I've been trying to finish working on that should go up either today or tomorrow, talking about Firefall. You heard about what happened with Firefall, right?
Vaguely.
It's not that big of a note that it was the only news involving Firefall right now is it shut down.
See, I was listening to Don't Get Your Hopes Up, and they were talking about a lot of things, and I was doing laundry and whatever. So I heard Firefall, and I heard them talking about it, and I remember I think I might have even still been living out there.
Yeah, it was you and me both
When
playing
the beta was... Yeah, I actually, for a shooter, which I'm not a fan of most of the time, that was a pretty okay game. I actually liked that. But then when I moved, I got a new computer and all that, and I never heard about it, so I never thought about it. But it was a good game while it was in beta. I enjoyed it.
Well, and I will go into this in the like video I'm working on when I'm not doing this and running around doing other things during the day. Is I was playing Firefall since alpha. I got him the beta key into it. I remember that.
That's right. I was trying to remember how I got in there.
Yeah, you got the beta key from me, so we were both playing the beta together way back in the day. Me on my potato computer, my happy little Dell 1555.
That's why I liked it so much. Yeah, I remember that now. Because you and I, we don't get anywhere near the time we do to play games together. When we are gaming, we have a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, but yeah. So I love Firefall, and I still loved it even with all the weird shit they did to it over the years. I still love the game, and it really is sad that they killed it, and that I guess they're going to some sort of weird mobile thing to keep it alive. I don't know. I will have to look for, and I'll look further into that, and it's going to be part of the video I'm working on. But it really kind of saddened me. It really did. It saddened me because I got a lot of people into Firefall. We all played it, a lot of things, because it was like pure accident. I got the alpha key for it. I was like, oh, there's this upcoming MMO, FPS. I want to try to get a little bit better FPS. Then I like MMOs. I signed up for it, didn't hear back for like a month, and it's like, oh, you've been accepted into the alpha access. What? And so it really does sadden me. With its
You've done pretty good with getting each other into various games.
Yeah, but it does sadden me that a game that I've been playing since almost day one, off and on, things like that, and it dies. And it is kind of very disheartening and sad. Excuse me, burp. And then let's see here. Steam Summer Sale is over. Thank God, Steam Summer Sale is over.
I wanted to get a couple of things, but I was
what
I wanted until after it was done.
I was sitting there looking at my wallet, going, you know what? I just bought a car. I've got bills. I've got to get insurance for the car. I've got to do all this shit. I can't afford it, so I'm just gonna tighten my sphincter and wait for the summer sale to be over, because there were so many games I wanted. There were so many goddamn games. Yeah. I'm just like, can't afford it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I wanted to get a couple of them, but I was waiting on my property tax refund, which came 2 days after the summer sale was over.
Now, okay, and here, okay,
the only thing I probably would have gotten, there were only a couple of games I probably would have gotten anyway.
So, okay, you bring up a really good point, and this is something I keep hearing from various people. They filed some people I know who filed their taxes, and I don't know why I'm fucking talking about this, but I know people who filed their taxes all the way back in, like, January 1st. The first day you could actually, like, file your taxes. They are just now getting their tax returns on various things. Like the state income tax return, property taxes. It's like, what the fuck, really? Why is it taking so long for these returns to come back?
Well, property taxes actually for me came on this. I got it late. What would that have been in 2013? Because this was my first year here. But I checked back, looking through things, and I get it on the 7th of July almost religiously. So that was just me forgetting what day it comes in. I don't usually get my tax statements until I can, but usually by the 1st of February at the very latest. Usually by, I think the first day we can file is the 20th of January.
Yeah, but still, that is
the earliest we can.
That is like 7 months. 7 months to get back your returns. What the hell? Yeah,
it's the 20th, and then the 27th I could file state. But by the 20th, I had it filed, and the day after Fur squared. The day I got home from First Squared, which would have been the 28th of February, I had them. Actually, I think I might have had them even when we were at First Squared. Yes, because I thought about taking some more out for them, but I didn't want to. But yeah, I usually, by March at the very latest, by the first couple of days of March, I have state and federal back already. So, but most of my stuff is, I'm just, only thing I get back is the earned income credit, and that's about it.
Yeah.
It maybe between the two, I get about $300 and $250 of it, or whatever is the earned income. Yeah. So if I didn't get that, I wouldn't get anything.
Well, yeah, but it's something that just kind of gets my goat. It's like, wow, that I know quite a few people who they are just now getting their tax returns on various things back. It's like, what the hell?
I can see property tax. Property tax always seems to take a while.
And you would think it wouldn't take that long because you're filing with your local state government. It's like, that shouldn't take as long as, the federal government, which is a whole lot bigger, has to deal with so many more people. And what?
I don't think that Minnesota even starts issuing their property tax returns until June. I mean, as a rule, I don't think they start issuing those until June. So, and then I think it goes to homeowners first, and then rentals, and then it's the first come first serve. Okay, how many homeowners? Okay, how many before this date, and how many rental before this date? Okay, now all the rest of y'all that fucked around and diddled yourselves until it was April 15th, now you all get your stuff back. Because that's the only thing I can think of, because I file my property tax on the 1st of February. I have to wait because I don't get my, whatever that form is, I don't get it until I get my bill for February. So I literally can't file anything until February. But yeah, if it ran anywhere even near, like state, I should have it by March. But yeah, I think for property tax, I don't think, almost certain Minnesota doesn't start issuing until June. So there might be something there where some property taxes, they just have a moratorium on when they start issuing them. I could see property tax for it, at least, especially, because that's usually one that you usually end up getting a lot more out of property tax than you do out of income tax.
Yeah, sure.
At least I always have. I got 373. So, of course, 300 went to my credit card. And actually, all of it should have gone to my credit card. But fuck it, I'm going to have some spending money this month. So.
Anyways, for another strange tangent, tune in next time. Anyway, to learn more about the Minnesota tax code, stay tuned for...
It's like revenue.mn.us, I think.
Oh my god.
I think I've had to visit that page so many fucking times.
It's terrible.
Because there's a program on there called eFile, and that's what I use to file my property taxes. And I have to download it every year so I can get the new... They have form packets that are like little libraries for this thing. I have to go every year and get the new packets. So,
anywho. So as a side note, have you seen what I've been trying to do on Twitter and a few other places? Just kind of it's my own personal, let's see if I can make people's heads explode sort of thing.
No, but that's usually what you do on here, so.
Very true. Well, in this particular instance, I was trying to make Shizzle. I was trying to make Shizzle's head explode.
The poor boy alone, Jesus.
No, it entertains me. Especially since I was comparing his zombie herding skills to furry herding skills.
Okay, did you see the video from Kage?
Yes, that is exactly why I was doing that.
Your other left. My mom actually, I shared that. And my mom, when I told my mom about that, she's like, "Yeah, it's just like you, isn't it?" I'm like, "Yep." I have so much trouble telling my left and my right apart, which was another joke on the live Drag It show from yesterday.
God.
Alkali tried to say to for the person to my, and they pointed right and he stopped. He's like, this side, which was Huskoon. He's like, you don't realize your left from your right? And I'm like, and Alkali's whole thing was, and I remember this vaguely, is if you put your hands up like a right angle for your thumb and your pointer finger.
Uh-huh.
However it points in is one direction. And he said, and honestly, I think this was my excuse at the time as a kid. He's like, I don't give a shit. It's just two L's. They're just going either way. That doesn't help at all. It's like, yeah, if you're doing that, it doesn't make any difference because you're looking at the same exact thing. It's just like if you're looking at it in a mirror, how the hell is that supposed to help?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, for those of you who don't know, I will link your other left file. It is so cute.
Well, and what brought this up, and me trying to make people's heads explode.
Oh, actually, that's in Discord, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Because there is like a tie together with all this. It's a strange tie together, and only I could come up with. I swear to God. In this particular instance is PUBG, and it's the game that me and Rendal don't play. Not together, definitely not together, because I have issues getting it to run by itself as is. So trying to...
What game are we talking about?
Player Unknown Battlegrounds, PUBG.
I'd never even heard of it.
Yes, you have. Yes. Oh, yes, you have. Oh, yes, you have. You want to know why I know you have? Because you've listened to DigiWho.
Who's that?
Don't get your hopes up. DigiWho. If you've listened to Don't Get Your Hopes Up, you know about Player Unknown Battlegrounds.
Half of the time, I'm doing laundry or shit. I'm not really... I just have them on in the background.
You still know about it, though.
I know the letters. I don't know anything other than that.
You still know about it, though. You do.
Well, yeah, I know about it in the same way that I know what an acorn is, okay? I've seen one before, and I've heard the word in mentioning. I don't know anything about it other than that. Honestly, I don't look at half of the games they talk about because a lot of what is on Don't Get Your Hopes Up, which is a really good show if you're a gamer. I will say they are two men who have been... when was Legendary? That was a long time ago. That was Wrath of the Lich King time yet. So, but they've been talking together and on shows together for probably 8 or 9 years. Gotta be somewhere around there. Because Legendary was about the Wrath of the Lich King expansion when that came out, and they took a break, but they've always been gaming and whatnot. And then I think it was 2 years ago that they started Don't Get Your Hopes Up. I don't know what the hell he's doing now. Now he's quiet, and that kind of concerns me.
I'm trying not... You know that image of somebody facepalming so hard, their hand goes through the back of their skull. That's what I'm trying.
Actually, there's a good.
You say there's a drop down for affinity for that, I will punch you. I will reach across the internet and I will fucking punch you. I swear to God.
What?
If you were gonna say there's a drop down for affinity for that.
Well, there is a drop down on for affinity.
I swear I'm gonna come through the fucking internet. I swear to all that is unholy, I'm going to come through this net and strangle you.
There has to be a head banging drop down on for affinity. Anything with the word bang on it has to be on for affinity. It's an unwritten law in there, I think, somewhere. Samantha's on.
I swear to God. I swear to God, Kali.
Sin and
Cthulhu.
password. Pride 48, so we're still not streaming.
I swear.
We'll talk to them about that and say, why'd the password change? Because my password doesn't work anymore.
I swear.
I did that it's not very often that I can get one up on you. So when you give me an opening like that, I have to take it. It's in the rules. It's in the bylaws. If you give me an in, I have to take it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I have a fucking card to turn in.
Right.
They don't see. Wait, streaming info. That does look like a different one. Maybe they did change it. I'll have to check that when we're done. I know we streamed live when we were doing the event, so I don't know.
Fuck.
That's kind of
video. Why does that not want to behave the way I want it to behave? Goddamn thing. God damn it. Of course, I try to do something on the fly, I actually get it sorted out. It's kind of cool, it works for once, and then it's like, nope, you're denied. Motherfucker. God damn it. Oh, sure. Now it wants to do... You stupid mother... God damn it. I swear, there are days where it's like, oh, I want to... this sounds like, a nifty thing I could do. I could probably throw this together pretty fast. It could be fun. It could be interesting. Little la-di-da. Little, yippity-doo-da. Zippity-yay. Motherfucker. No.
I don't think those are quite the words, but I'll take your word for it.
It's okay. Just run with it. And I don't mean run away.
Okay. We've got about 7 minutes left, so I'm going to ask you a question that was asked on the Dragot show, which I thought would be kind of funny. Mm-hmm. Somebody asked them, if you could be any 90s cartoon character, who would you be?
Oh, God. Any 90s cartoon character, really?
I'm really going to have to struggle with this one because I wasn't really watching cartoons at that point. So,
you may actually have to get back to me later on that one because that one involves actually legitimately too much thought. That legitimately involves way too much thought for me.
I'm just trying to...
Can you even remember the 90s? I know I can, because that was before I was doing drugs, and I remember the period after I was doing drugs, because I was insane, and it wasn't from doing drugs I was insane for another reason.
I don't remember much of the 90s. I know
proof! We have proof! He can't remember the 90s.
Not much of it. Oh. All I know is I got into a lot of cartoons that because of where we lived, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Real Ghostbusters, Gargoyles. We got into a lot of those then because they were rerun on like USA and Cartoon Network. But these were things because when we lived where we did, we never got them. I didn't know Ghostbusters, Real Ghostbusters, was an early 80s cartoon until I looked it up a couple weeks ago. We didn't find out. I wasn't able to start watching that until like 1991. So, cartoons for me back in the 90s, I have to be careful with because there were a lot of cartoons I saw in the 90s, but because of that was the beginning of cable and Cartoon Network debuted about that time with a lot of older cartoons at first. So are you saying what'd you watch in the 90s or what came out in the 90s? That's where that gray area is for me. I could honestly say somebody from D&D because until the 90s, because of where we lived and the shitty reception we have, I don't think I saw more than 4 episodes at a time until the early 90s. because we could never get a channel it was on. The last time I saw D&D on TV was when we moved to Sioux Falls. I was actually bouncing. I was so happy. I loved the cartoon. Yes, I'll be able to watch it. And the fucker was canceled that week. I never saw it until maybe the mid-90s when I think it actually came out on VHS.
Okay,
Yes,
so
because when we moved...
For something like that, generally when they ask what 90s cartoon, they literally mean a cartoon that came out in the 90s.
I think the only one I know of is Gargoyles. I'm almost certain that's the only one from that time
What about Sonic
watched.
the Hedgehog?
I never watched Sonic.
You are a damn dirty heathen.
I wasn't nobody around me ever even had a Genesis. I didn't know anything about Sonic.
It was a Saturday morning cartoon.
I didn't.
There was two of them.
Tunes. We had, let's see, 14 satellites with 30 channels each. Why would I watch Saturday morning cartoons? I've got 400 channels of crap to choose from. Do you know
there was nothing to watch?
Saturday morning cartoon I could watch?
Now my favorite twist I always throw in when somebody goes, "What's your favorite 90s cartoon?" Now, because I watched a lot of anime, I've watched a lot of anime. I can pull this bullshit card I can list off like a Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball or Sailor Moon, and those are all actually 80s cartoons, but they didn't come to America until the 90s. I can pull a bullshit card.
See, I would count them, but I didn't see them until the 2000s when I moved in with Angela. So I would probably, the only person I could think of that would even kind of be cool would be Angela from Gargoyles. I like her.
What about Demona, huh? Where's the Demona love?
The Demona love is the fact she's so fucking sexy. It would be a severe downgrade for me to be her. So, come on. I'd say the cute cat gargoyle from the underground, but they don't list her name anywhere.
Oh so. God. Wow, there's a side reference. Anyways, we need to be wrapping this episode.
Well, she was one of the things that when I made Maria, that was kind of one of the templates for her. So, but yeah. I just don't remember what her name is.
And it'll eventually come up, and I'll find it for you and go, haha, here's her name.
Actually, given how meek and how scared she was, that would be ideally me. So yeah, we'll go with the Kitty Goyle, whose name neither one of us can remember.
Anyways, so this is definitely an episode of Finite Exposure in the can, just because of how geeky we've got. And I am taking this one as a Finite Exposure, just because it saves me about 5 minutes of editing time. And you know what? It's actually been kind of fun. Besides, I'm sweating to death because all my cooling instruments are off. All but like one fan are off, so I'm just sweating to death now. So, you know what? I think that's where we're gonna call it.
I think so.
Because you have a raid to get to, and I've got balls to quit sweating. So, you've been listening to Chaos Infinitum and Raving Rendal. Isn't that just fascinating? Yes, it is.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah. You can, if you happen to be watching this on my YouTube, you know what? Follow either one of us around the net. Our information is posted right there on the screen for you to enjoy and see. Tweet at him. Follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. I am not going to give into Instagram. Instagram can suck my balls.
I just never post to it. It's strictly for following other people.
See, yeah, Instagram can suck my balls. And, you know, I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope everyone's had a good week. And I hope everyone has a good weekend, what's left of it. And going into the next week, I really hope everyone has a good week. I hope everyone has a good week this coming week. Because you know what? The world's a really fucked up place, and if you have a good week, the world's just a little less shitty that way. Unless you are a mass murdering nut job, and then, well, crap.
You dug yourself in a hole there, didn't you?
No, actually, that was the thought right there. Was just crap.
So drop down on Fur Affinity for that.
God
by the way.
damn it! I'm gonna send you to a dungeon. I'm gonna send you to a dungeon bondage fucking convention one of these days. I swear to God. And watch you become somebody's puppy.
Sure.
And there is a drop down on Fur Affinity for that.
I hope they'd have more self-respect than that.
Oh, you would be surprised. You would be very surprised, sir. That some people...
There's always somebody willing to scrape the bottom of the barrel. So, yeah, that's probably true.
Anyways, with that all said, we will talk to you all later. And until next time, see you later.
Until next... Yeah.
Or bark at you later. Or whatever the fuck else we do at you.
What?